we all don't have to agree. That's bull. We do all have to agree. Not on if Fruit Loops are better than Fruity Pebbles. That's not something we all need to agree on, because that's a matter of taste. I had a problem. I just finished taking an improv class, and I had two problems with my teacher. The first problem, let me set the stage for you. I was about 5 minutes late, maybe 10, to the very first class. There was a disclaimer that needed to be signed. I wasn't physically there to do it. So at the first break, the instructor called over me and the one or two other late people that were there, and she said, "Hey, there's a disclaimer. Wanted you guys to sign this." And she said, "Oh, and by the way,
if there's ever a subject that makes you uncomfortable, that the improv skit starts touching on and you don't feel comfortable, feel free to stop the skit at any time and let us know. If we can talk about it and talk through it, we will. If not, we'll change the subject and move on. No judgment."
I'm all for that. To that, I gave the very reasonable response, "Okay, sounds good." Nothing, I think I may have said something jokingly, nothing normally offends me, and but there could be a first time for everything, and we just moved on. We continued the class, and about 2 hours later, as we're wrapping up, great class, by the way, the instructor says, oh, I forgot.
Can everyone please go around in a circle and say your name and your preferred pronoun, and your preferred pronoun, and your preferred pronoun.
We'd already had a name game at the beginning of class. I'm Justin. You're Cannon. It's my camera. You're Tommy. You're Angelica. Reptar. Chucky. Pikachu. And Pup. You guys don't know him. Maybe I'll tell you about him in a later video. So this pronoun thing, we all have to agree on some things. We have to. This isn't hate speech. We have to agree because if certain rules are fluid, certain words are fluid, then someone will always and inevitably make mistakes. It's just the way it will go. To continue the story, we start going around in a circle. Someone says, I'm Jane, she, her. I'm Lance, he, him. It eventually gets to me, and I say Justin. Man. This guy behind me, he says, oh, he means he, him. I said, no, I did not. Justin. Man. Everyone was obviously uncomfortable. He giggled again, but it was an uncomfortable giggle. Ooh. He means he, him. I doubled down. Justin, man. I said, okay, moving on. I was uncomfortable. Remember the disclaimer at the beginning of class. I signed that. I already introduced myself as Justin. I already did that. I told you what I wanted you to call me. Justin. That is the pronoun that I gave you. Justin. There was even one person in the class that said she, they. As if that doesn't confuse me enough. You're only one person, so how can you identify as they? We've agreed that they means more than one. We've agreed that few means more than two or one. Several means more than one. We can't just say a word they now means something else. We can't. You're one person. One. So I felt uncomfortable. But that's when I realized the teacher's disclaimer at the beginning of class wasn't for me. It wasn't for me and my discomfort. Just wanting to be called Justin. Wanting to be called a man. She wanted to make sure that anyone that she felt may be marginalized. Wasn't. And I understand that. But in her very progressive attempt, she marginalized me. She hurt me. She attacked my point of view and how I identify. I didn't like that. The second thing that happened, this was maybe 5 or 6 classes in. There was a skit that we had to do. I was partnered with another gentleman, and the word we picked, or that was given to us, was dog show. So there was any number of ways or directions that we could have gone with that skit. In that skit, we decided to do probably one of many different things that you guys could probably consider if you were considering doing a comedic improv skit around a dog show. Obviously, you're at a show. There's a podium, there's a big pad of fake grass, and there's little obstacle courses set up, and dogs going through the obstacle courses, right? That's the dog show we all know, right? So he starts in the skit with something that I didn't really understand. I didn't understand what he was doing, but he had a dog kind of on a leash, and he was kind of leading the dog around, but he didn't really establish who he was, so then I couldn't establish who I was. But he gave me the leash. So once I got the leash, I said, all right, I'm gonna take the dog through this weave, you know, the little thing with the sticks and the dogs kind of go between them. Like, you know what I mean. It's hard to do it on camera. Pop up, do you know? But once I get through the course, I say, okay, how did I do? Or I say, hey, judge, how do I do? And after I say that, I pretend I kick the dog. You know, it's a fake dog. It's not a real dog. But I kick it after I say, good boy. I don't know if you think that's funny or not, but once I kick the dog, most of the class, they start laughing at the absurdity of it. And it's a fake dog. This is an improv class. There's no dog in the class. The teacher says, no, stop. I said, oh, okay. What's up? I'm waiting for the notes because she does give very good notes. And she says, let's start the skit over. I'm like, oh, okay. Why? I mean, did we not establish some of the things in improv you're supposed to establish are who you are, what your relationship is, and where you are. Those are 3 of the things the tenets that you're supposed to establish. Kind of like this. Oh, hey, Dad. I finished raking the leaves. You immediately know that this is my dad. You know that I'm raking leaves, so I'm probably outside, and I'm his son. And the way that I'm saying it, I'm saying, hey, Dad, I think we're familiar. And I like my dad. So I thought that's what she was going to have a problem with. I thought that's what she would want, that she was going to tell us that we didn't do. It's like I said, we were rough at first. She said, no, we don't want to joke about animal cruelty. Yeah, I was at a little bit of a loss for words. I said, well, I didn't really kick a dog. And she says, yeah, but you're implying that you did. I'm like, we just implied that we blew up a building. That's what I'm thinking. We just implied that we blew up a building. In another skit, we implied that we were driving in a car, a fake car, and crashing into people. We did a lot of fake things, but because I kicked the dog and I said, well, there's no real dog here. She said, still, no. We don't want to joke about abusing animals. I was stuck. I understood that it hurt her, but again, very progressive woman, I could tell. And that's fine, but this was a comedy improvisational skit. And in improv, if you don't know anything about it, you're supposed to give a gift. Everything that you give is a gift to the person that you're in scene with or the people you're in scene with. And I fully expected the guy to say, wait, did you just, kick the I mean, you went through the cones, great, but did you just kick the dog? And I would say something maybe like, yeah, I kicked the dog. He likes it. And then that was his gift to educate me and be the voice of reason in the improv scene. And you can, wait. You can't kick the dog. That's not motivating. Look at him. He's snarling. I don't know. But fast forward to the end of class, I let it go. I did. I let it go. But my scene partner, he brought it up and he said, so what was the problem with that first scene? Why'd you stop it? She started talking about the second scene that we did. And he's like, no, the first one, when you told us to stop because you kicked the dog. She said, we don't want to. There's nothing, you cannot make animal cruelty funny. I couldn't resist anymore. And shout out to my son, because he helped me realize that I do not have a threshold. It's his exact words.
Dad, you don't have a threshold.
What? I don't have a threshold? Thought about it for a while. I do not have a threshold. This is the example that I give. It's like a huge baseball, and someone's pitching me the baseball, and it's like floating in a circle slowly into my strike zone. And I'm gonna load up, because not taking a swing at this pitch is the easiest pitch I've ever seen. I'm gonna knock this thing out of the park. It's gone. But she says you can't make animal cruelty funny. And first off, comedy is so subjective. I've heard Nazi jokes, I've heard World War II jokes, I've heard slavery jokes. There are jokes that have been made, I've laughed at them, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so uncomfortable laughing at them, but they're still funny. It's funny because it's fabricated, it's funny because it's not real, it's funny because it was timed well, I don't know, but when she said, you cannot make this funny, I knew maybe there was some deeper pain there. And I said, yes, you can. No, you cannot make animal cruelty funny. I said, I disagree. And she said, okay, moving on. I like that she stood on her conviction, but I don't like what her conviction was, which is why we have to agree on some things. If we agree that I have personal freedom and I can say, Justin, man, then get off my back. Don't tell me to use another word. I won't tell you to use one. Do we want fairness for all or fairness for you? If comedy is subjective, then you can't say something isn't funny or can't be funny. I would say laughing in the face of someone at the funeral of a loved one when they're buried, that's not funny and that's not comedy. That's like abuse or something. That's bad. It's bad to that person. But if someone joked later about the fact that the casket was red plaid and it looked like a lumberjack shirt, that's kind of funny. Like, who gets a plaid coffin? Flannel? You mean the coffin was made out of flannel? Yeah, it was like, we could see the guy sagging. Wait. It wasn't a casket made out of flannel, it was actual flannel? Yeah, it was flannel. It was very comfortable for the pallbearers on their calloused hands. Funny, right? Anything can be made funny. It's all in the timing and who is hearing the joke, if they think it's funny or not. The teacher was okay. I liked her. She let her personal views take away the agreements that we've made as a society and as people. If we've agreed I'm free, then I can say I'm Justin Man. And if we've agreed that comedy is subjective, you can't tell me what I can do or what I can't do in my comedic improv skit.